News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niket Karunaratne.
And I'm Natalia Viravardhana. First, let's take a look at the headlines.
Yoshitha Rajapaksa arrested under the Money Laundering Act and remanded until the 27th. The Adani Group confirms that reports relating to the cancellation of its wind bubble project in Sri Lanka are false. Minister Nalinda Jayatissa says there is no reference in the constitution pertaining to handing over of residences to former presidents. Services of the president's funds reached the village. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka reiterates that fraudulent rulers who made the country bankrupt should be punished. 4 Israeli female soldiers released in exchange for 121 Palestinian prisoners. The Australian team arrives in the island to compete in the Vaughan Murali tournament, which is to commence on the 29th.
On to those and other stories in detail now. Yoshitha Rajapaksa, who was arrested this morning, has been ordered to be remanded until the 27th of this month.
The order was given by Additional Magistrate of Court Number 5, housed of Pavitra Sanjeevani, where the suspect was produced before the courts this afternoon. Yoshitha Rajapaksa, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, has been arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department in Beliatta. According to the police, he was involved in purchasing a house and a land in Ratmalana for 34 million rupees. Measures have been taken to arrest him according to the advice of the Attorney General, citing evidence of wrongdoing under the Money Laundering Act No. 5 of 2006. Further investigations are being conducted by the Criminal Investigation Department. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the investigation process or indictment of suspects was not terminated due to the exit of governments connected to acts of fraud. There had been attempts to undermine the files. These measures had been taken not according to their choice but according to the laws of the country. If the purchasing was done in an illegal manner, there is a need to arrest the suspect according to the instructions of the Department of Attorney General. The law is now being implemented throughout the country against suspicious transactions.
Today's fact check feature is focused on the 484 megawatt wind power project scheduled to be implemented in Sri Lanka by the Adani Group. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa has expressed his opinions regarding the reports of cancelling the proposed 484 megawatt wind power projects to be implemented in Mannar and Punarin by the Adani Group. The minister was addressing a media briefing at the Government Information Department today. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, speaking at the occasion, clarified that the government had only annulled a cabinet decision by the previous administration related to a high-power purchasing agreement. A committee has now been appointed to review the project and address concerns. The minister further said that the project has not been cancelled and the government is renegotiating the pricing with the Adani Group to ensure the terms align with the country's current priorities and energy policies. He further noted that several legal cases have been filed against the project by environmentalists and the government is closely monitoring their progress before making a final decision.
ආකාරයට සමාලෝචනය කිරීම සඳහා තමයි අපි කමිටුවක් පත් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ සමාලෝචන කමිටුව දැන් තමන්ගේ කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ අනුව අපිට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ මේ ඉදිරිපත් කරන ලද ප්‍රවෘත්තිය නිවැරදි එකක්.
The Adani Group, in response to the reports, issued a statement categorically denying the cancellation claims, calling them false and misleading. Issuing a communique, the company said that the cabinet decision to re-evaluate the tariff approved in May of 2024 is part of a standard review process, particularly with a new government, to ensure alignment with their priorities. Therefore, the company further establishes the fact that reports relating to Sri Lanka cancelling the Adani wind power project as false.
The Mahasangha commends the decision taken by the government to reduce electricity charges. They point out that high electricity bills had been a tremendous challenge to the Viharas in the face of the economic situation. The Thera said that they extend blessings to all those who have extended relief to places of religious veneration and pilgrimages. The Thera said that despite, however, sparingly they used electricity, the increasing electricity charges had been a tremendous form of difficulty to the Viharas. As a result, many senior bhikkhus have expressed numerous opinions in this connection. They have also pointed out that if adequate attention was not given on the issue, there would have been a retardation in the development of many institutions, including Pirivenas and Vihararamas. The Thera has expressed satisfaction over the significant reduction in the electricity bills.
The Sri Lanka airport is reported to have recovered speedy progress in passenger arrivals and departures and cargo transport in 2024, surpassing the 8.8 million mark. This represents a growth of 17.69% in passenger movements and 56,289 aircraft movements in comparison to the year 2023. It also records an increase of 20.69% in aircraft movements. This achievement underscores the critical role of Sri Lanka's aviation infrastructure in connecting the region and facilitating travel, trade and commerce. This improved connectivity has not only benefited travellers but also significantly contributed to the national economy by attracting more tourists. In 2024, the Bandaranaike International Airport served over 30 airlines, including major international carriers, along with the national carrier, Sri Lankan Airlines. Meanwhile, several airlines have taken measures to increase air services to Sri Lanka. In the meantime, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says there is no mention in the constitution that former presidents should be accorded official residences. He has made these remarks at a media briefing at the Government Information Department today. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that they are deliberately misguiding the masses. They are spreading false information regarding provisions in the constitution to hand over a house to a former president. The minister has challenged attorney-at-law Nama Rajapaksa or his group to point out to him which clause in the constitution stipulates the fact that a former president is entitled to a residence.
And on more local news, in order to provide more efficient services to the public, the President's Fund is set to launch a new initiative to deliver services at the regional level through the offices of the divisional secretaries under the leadership of President Anurakumara Dissanayake on February 7th at the Temple Trees, Colombo. Previously, the official work of the President's Fund was limited to the Colombo area. However, under the new plan, these services will be extended nationwide through 341 sub-offices established at divisional secretary offices across the country. The relevant pilot project for 5 selected divisional secretary offices are already operational, and the full-scale implementation of the new service model will begin nationwide on the 7th of February. This initiative was announced during a virtual meeting held today at the President's office to brief divisional secretaries about the new approach to the President's Fund services. Secretary of the President Fund and the Senior Additional Secretary to the President, Roshan Gamage, highlighted that the new digitalization and networking plan aims to provide more efficient and effective services to the public. Through this system, anyone can request financial assistance related to their disease at their local divisional secretary office, and the necessary documentation can be submitted there as well. During the discussion, divisional secretaries were informed about the procedures for selecting patients, preparing the necessary documents and responsibilities of the President's Fund.
Minister Bimal Ratnayake was engaged in an inspection tour at the bus repairing yard of the Lakdiva Engineering in Ekala, which comes under the purview of the Sri Lanka Transport Board of the Ministry of Transport. The minister, expressing opinion to the media on this occasion, said punishments will have to be extended according to the mandates given by the people against the fraudulent rulers who made the country bankrupt. Minister Bimal Ratnayake said that Lakdiva Engineering is an institute which was liquidated under the regime of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe in 2023. The employees of the institute had made grievances due to being able to leave the jobs without even having compensation. The new chairman, after assuming duties, is making arrangements to make changes to rectify the anomalies. The country has made bankrupt as a result of allowing to destroy machines valued at millions of rupees. The state property was given away to outsiders. The people's mandate is to punish the culprits who destroyed state property.
The Director General of the Department of Coastal Conservation and Coastal Resources Management says that Sri Lanka needs new approach in maintaining a healthy coastal belt around the country. He says that a proactive approach is vital rather than continuing the current reactive approach in solving issues related to the coastal belt. The newly appointed Director General made those remarks in an exclusive interview with Rupavahini.
Actually, Sri Lanka is an island nation, and we have a sea ocean area that is about 8 times larger than the country. And on the other hand, we are mainly depending on ocean resources for fisheries, tourism, and other activities, for example, other leisure activities. So, ensure better tourism, better fisheries segment. Important thing is to ensure or secure a healthy ocean and healthy coastal belt. So, according to our mandate is to ensure a better or healthy coastal belt around the country that will enhance tourism and fisheries sector. At the end, that will enhance the livelihoods or well-being of the coastal people. So my main mandate is to, within next 2 years tenure, I expect to go beyond what has been done so far. For example, CCD is not for putting revert ones and put breakwaters along the beaches. We have to go beyond that because we have to be very proactive than reactive. Because at the moment we are almost reactive. We take actions when something happened. But my motto is to go beyond that and take precautionary actions and protect our coast to lift that for future generations. At the same time, get the maximum benefit from the coast and give prosperity to the coastal people and again to the country. Therefore, we always look into more innovations, new research, and new ideas coming up, and again using artificial intelligence also. So go to that level also, and capacity building in my agency. At the same time, to work with other national agencies and again to global and regional agencies to get more technical support and take CCD to next level. So ultimately, my main task is to support the current government to make our country a prosperous country, at the same time gifting a better life for our Sri Lankan citizens, whoever living within the country and supporting the country.
An awareness program to introduce the process and discuss issues related to the electronic national identity card was held yesterday at the Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka in Colombo. The event was conducted in parallel to the government's program on digital economy. The session aimed to address key challenges and operational aspects of the electronic NIC project, providing a platform for stakeholders to exchange ideas and a group including Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Erangavira Ratna, the Chief Advisor to the President on Digital Economy and the Chairman of ICTA, Dr. Hans Vijay Surya, have also participated on this occasion.
Deputy Minister Vasantha Piyatissa says that a data system of eligible youth will be prepared in order to direct them for foreign employment. He has made these remarks participating in a program to enlighten on employment opportunities in Japan yesterday. The event has taken place at the Foreign Services Employment Bureau. Minister Vijitha Herath and group have also attended the program. Deputy Minister Vasantha Piyatissa said that numerous training classes were conducted in collaboration with his ministry last year. Many students had qualified in their chosen fields by attending these classes. However, only 14 qualified students were able to send to Japan. With the proper planning and coordination, more students could be accorded the opportunity to go abroad according to their skills. Unfortunately, such a situation does not prevail at present. A proposal has been made to compile a database of all those who have been qualified by presenting themselves for examinations. A decision has been taken to go step by step in the program to obtain overseas employment opportunities for qualified students.
In the meantime, attention of the Ministry of Health has been focused on further strengthening activities pertaining to controlling and prevention of diseases and also to successfully confront any global pandemic condition. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa has expressed his opinion in this regard at a discussion held at the Epidemiology Unit recently. The Minister has inspected the functioning of each division of the Epidemiology Unit on this occasion. More attention was focused on updating all inoculation programs, training programs on controlling of infectious diseases and the present condition of infectious diseases in Sri Lanka, in addition to disease surveillance. Another issue of special concern was the identification of sectors that needed more attention. Emphasis has also been made to further streamline activities in the Epidemiology Unit in order to effectively confront any global epidemic situation. The Minister was also engaged in an extensive discussion with chief specialist consultants on infectious diseases and other medical officers with the objective of facing any epidemic threat. Secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media consultant Dr. Anil Jasinghe and other medical specialists were also present on this occasion.
Speaker Jagat Vikramaratne says that the task of cleaning the parliament will be continuously entrusted upon the people. He was addressing a meritorious ceremony in Polonnaruwa. The event was held in connection with the felicitation of Chief Incumbent of the Sri Mahinda Ramaya in Diul Damana Polonnaruwa, Venerable Ambagaspitiye Ananda Thero, who was appointed as the Chief Adhikana Sanganayaka of the North Central Province. The speaker was the chief guest on the occasion. The title was presented by the Karaka Sangha Sabha, headed by Mahanayaka Thero of the Mahaviharavanshika Shyamopali Mahanikaya of the Askiri chapter. The Mahasangha, residents and people's representatives have also graced the occasion.
And now we'll take a look at some more local news items in brief. Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police and Attorney at Law Varuna Jayasundara, who has been appointed as the commanding of the Special Task Force, has met Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya at the Prime Minister's office this morning. A stock of narcotics valued at over 15 million rupees and a rifle and 2 swords were taken into police custody in Mount Lavinia. The raid was conducted by the Police Special Task Force. The police say the drugs were found in the possession of a companion of major drug racketeer named Kesselvatta Indika. A 45-year-old pedestrian who was crossing the Ingiriya Ratnapura main road was knocked down and killed by an incoming lorry in the Diulpatha area. A wild elephant roaming in the Madhuroya Protectorate was killed after being caught in a trap of explosive material in a field in Hingruwava in Aralaganvilla. The Veheragala Wildlife Office says that the elephant was between the age of 10 and 15 and born in the Madhuroya Wildlife Sanctuary. And that's all the news from home. Stay tuned for foreign news coming up next. Welcome back, and on foreign news for today, 4 female hostages who were held by Hamas in Gaza have returned to Israel.
The hostages, who are IDF soldiers working at an observation post when they were captured on 7th October, are now undergoing medical checks after reuniting with their families. The 4 women were brought onto a stage in Palestine Square and waved to crowds of civilians and gunmen carrying Hamas insignia. They then were transported to the IDF by the Red Cross. In Tel Aviv, crowds cheered and cried as they watched a live feed of the exchange in Hostage Square. As part of the release agreement, 200 Palestinian prisoners are being released from Israeli-run prisons. The first of them have been loaded into buses. Many Palestinians had also been hoping to return to homes in the north, but Israel says this will not be allowed to enter the area until arrangements are made for civilian hostage Abel Yehud to be returned. Her release was expected today, but her name was left off the list and freed hostages for unknown reason. Meanwhile, Hamas is expected to provide more information about the remaining 26 hostages due to be released in the coming weeks. Unlike last week's release, which mainly involved people serving relatively minor sentences, 121 of the prisoners being released today have been serving a life sentence. Some were convicted of multiple murders, including the killing of Israeli civilians.
In the meantime, Ukraine reportedly hit a Russian oil refinery and targeted Moscow during an attack involving a wave of at least 121 drones, one of the largest single operations of its kind during the war. Video footage verified by the BBC shows a fireball rising over the refinery and pumping station in the Ryazan region southeast of Moscow, which Ukrainian officials said was a target. Russia said it had shot down 121 drones that had targeted 13 regions, including Ryazan and Moscow, but reported no damage. Elsewhere, Ukrainian authorities said 3 people were killed and 1 was injured when a Russian drone hit a residential building in the Kiev region. Head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation said on Telegram that an oil refinery in Ryazan had been hit, as well as the Kremlin factory in Bryansk that Ukraine says produces missile components and other weapons.
And we are back with sports news. And on cricket, the Australian cricket team has arrived in the island last night to take part in a tournament against Sri Lanka team, which is scheduled to commence on the 29th of this month. Officials of Sri Lankan cricket were at the airport to welcome the Australian team. The Sri Lanka-Australia cricket tournament for the Vaughan Murali Trophy includes 2 test matches and 2 one-day matches. The first test is scheduled to commence at the Galle International Cricket Stadium next Wednesday. The second test will commence on the 6th of next month. The first of the one-day matches is scheduled to start on the 12th and the second on the 14th of next month. Both matches will be played at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. Sri Lankan spin bowler Vanidhu Hasaranga has been named for the ICC Men's T20 Team of the Year 2024. Captain of Sri Lanka women's cricket team Chamari Athapattu has also been named for the women's team. The International Cricket Council says they have been included in the teams based on their excellent performances in international matches played in 2024. According to the ICC grading of 2024, Vanidhu Hasaranga was adjudged the 3rd place in the list of bowlers in T20 matches. He was also placed in the 6th position in the list of best all-rounders. Sri Lanka women's team captain Chamari Athapattu was placed in the 8th position in the batters list of T20 matches according to ICC women's grading in 2024. She has secured the 5th place in the list of best all-female rounders.
And moving over to tennis, Madison Keys of the United States has been successful in winning the female singles championship trophy of the Australian Open tennis tournament by defeating world #1 player Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus. This was her first victory in the Australian Open tennis trophy. Madison Keys won the final round 6-3. The second round was won by Sabalenka 6-2. In the crucial third round, the US player clinched victory 7-5. 29-year-old Madison is ranked 19 in tennis grading and won the match 2-1.
जय हिंद क्रिकेट अमन
And that's all the news for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.